Thanks for watching the only #1 podcast that matters. I'm your host, Juan.
And I'm your host, Jean-Paul Leek.
And you guys are watching
Rope Break.
Rope Break, baby. Thanks for every single one of you that are watching our family. How's every single one of you? And like always, thanks for watching all of our videos. Thanks for watching all the content that we have. We actually are increasing our content. So we're very happy that most of you are just keep checking us out and everything. And I just want to mention all the content that we have this week. It starts with Mr. Jean-Paul Leek, Raw review, excellent review, talking about everything that happened with Matt Hardy, Randy Orton. Matt Hardy seems like he's leaving the WWE. He had a picture on Twitter yesterday, and he's looking at AEW Dynamite. So that might be
and the one thing, somebody did have a sign when he had the video paused that said "Free the Delete."
Yes,
so he's like, oh, I was looking at the sign that they were holding, but it's like it was on AEW. So what are you trying to say here? He's probably going there. And the one thing that also is funny, because now we're thinking about cross-brand promotion or whatever you want to call it. There was an ad for Monday Night Raw.
Oh, well, while Dynamite was on, so you can see how the brands are going against each other. You can see Vince a little bit was laughing about it, but probably wasn't laughing at the fact that AEW once again beat NXT. It was 893,000 against 794,000. So for another week in a row, AEW comes out first in the ratings. And we have that, of course, talking about AEW, Jean-Paul Leek, talking about AEW Dynamite review. Great review, of course, talking about we had a great moonsault. Cody Rhodes deliver, beating Wardlow, first steel cage match. And, of course, the Young Bucks, #1 contenders against Kenny Omega and Adam Hanman Page at Revolution. Another great video. Something that we've been trying to do also is gameplay a little bit. We have both days of the UEFA Champions League. We have 4 matches for you guys, and all the matches highlights is something different that we're trying to do. And also I have a Spanish review for the Spanish speaking audience of NXT Takeover Portland. Every single move, every single result, right there for you in complete Espanol. So guys, Jean-Paul Leek, I want to tell you something flat out. NXT this week actually disappointed for me. I
agree. Yep.
It was not a good show. I thought that it would be a lot more interesting. There was going to be more development coming out from NXT Takeover Portland. That we both were really happy. We both enjoyed the show. By the way, also that all the results and everything is in the channel. Everything will be down in the description of this video. So we were thinking that I was at least hoping way more than what we actually got. So I don't know what happened this week.
Yeah, and I agree. I usually feel like WWE that sometimes they're hit or miss with these shows after a pay-per-view. Sometimes they come out guns blazing. Other times it's an episode like this where you get, the jobbers, the mid-card guys. They're the ones that are featured on the show. You get a couple big names, but it's mostly just a boring show. The big names are usually just cutting promos because they just wrestled their ass off, on Sunday. So they give them this week off, so to say. Just, hey, come out, cut a promo, and leave. And that's kind of what we got this week. And I mean, you would think that they would come out guns blazing because of NXT. NXT is going into a pay-per-view. I mean, not NXT. AEW is going into a pay-per-view, and NXT is coming out of one. So you would think that they would be like, hey, we're not going to slow down just because we had a fantastic pay-per-view. But that's kind of what happened. And like I said, when I did the Dynamite review, I felt that NXT was not as good this week, and my side was going to go to Dynamite. And I definitely feel that way after watching the full episode of NXT.
Exactly. So I just don't think that they put on a great show. There was nothing that caught my attention mostly. Even the main event, the big story of this episode was the Velveteen Dream coming back, going against Roderick Strong. The match was not as great.
No.
And the ending was very flat.
Yeah,
and then in the end, we'll go over everything, but it wasn't good. Even I was hoping for something a little better to get me hooked for next week, but no.
Yeah, no, I agree 100% with that. Like I said, we'll talk about it when we get there, but I agree with you
Yeah.
100%.
So you know what? Let's get to it. So the opening segment is, of course, we get a recap of the Takeover Portland. Again, that was a great show. So everybody,
Hmm.
okay, we're wanting more. We're ready for NXT. Let's do it. So Undisputed Era comes to the ring, and they're officially, celebrating because at least one of them has goal. Because the prophecy is not completely broken. Adam
Hmm.
Cole gets on the mic, and he's bragging. He says something that Jean Paul was saying during the review. I told you so. I'm going to keep my
Yep.
championship. When everything's all said and done, I'm still going to be the NXT champion. So he calls himself the greatest NXT champion of all time and the Undisputed Era. Guess where they're going? They're going nowhere. So then Adam Cole starts talking about Roderick Strong, and he starts hyping him up, getting it up there, like saying that he's really a great competitor, a great champion, and then he gives the mic to Roderick Strong. But before he can actually speak, then the Velveteen Dream cuts a promo, and I really appreciate though how they have like his face in that the Titantron and everything. And you
Oh
only
yeah,
hear the audio.
yeah.
So yeah, he's like, and he says, if you're that good, if you are who you said you are, why don't you just have all your buddies outside, and it's no ring interference. So it's just you and me, and they're saying for the match on the main event. And then Roderick Strong agrees to it. He's like, okay, and then I'm gonna make you wish that you will never come back from your injury. So then we get a recap of Johnny Gargano hitting Tommaso Ciampa, and that was like that's the biggest story on NXT right now because we want to know
Hmm.
what happened with Johnny. Is he healed now? Why did he betray his new kind of like old and new best friend? The reformation of DNY, and then Mauro Ronaldo mentions that he is hope that like he's gonna hear from Johnny tonight. Well, so far, the show it started out decent, I will say.
Yeah, like you said, Undisputed Era coming out, you figured they'd be the first people to come out. And I do like how they said we're not going anywhere. I think that was kind of Triple H's way to like quiet everybody who was thinking, "Oh God, now they're going to get called up to SmackDown and we're going to lose them and they're going to be ruined." I think he was like, "No, just because they lost the belts doesn't they're not going anywhere."
Exactly.
So that's what I think
Exactly.
that kind of was. So hopefully that is the case because, like he said, even though we want the Undisputed Era to lose because we don't want them to have the titles forever, that doesn't mean that they have to get called up to the main roster. They can stay in NXT and keep making that brand the best brand in pro wrestling.
It is, and like it's. I don't know. Maybe again, when you get your hopes up with something, you gotta deliver every single time, and you gotta blow
Hmm.
people away. And that's in like music, in any single thing you do, in any single skill, in anything that you are portraying or producing or doing. And I think that our hopes get really high after the show of Takeover Portland. I feel that like everybody thought that like the show was going to be extremely loaded, extremely like full with like a lot of story development and everything, but like it didn't
Yeah.
turn out to be that way. So those two segments, okay, they got me pumped up a little bit. I'm like, yeah, the Undisputed is not going anywhere. Hopefully, like you say, like they stay on the in NXT because I feel that like right now NXT has enough leverage, enough power to like not be sending people. Actually, they can get people that have not been used correctly in the main roster. And for
Oh
example, we
yeah.
say it all the time, Cesaro. There's so many people. Nakamura,
Hmm.
bring them back just so they have another shot and like their characters can be revamped. They can be reinvented. They can have a new shot at being over with the crowd.
Oh yeah.
So
I would definitely bring those two guys down after WrestleMania because they're not
exactly.
going to do anything with this. We'll probably see Nakamura and Cesaro in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal at
And that's
WrestleMania. So it's
terrible.
like, yeah. So at that point, might as well just bring them down and you know
It's so unfair,
make it
it's
legit
so
again.
unfair. It's such a waste, for the talent like that. That
Mm-hmm.
like they could easily be the top guy in any promotion. You name it, NWA, you name it, Impact, Ring of Honor, AEW, any of those companies will use these guys properly just because of the talent and the name power that they have. So Mr. Egg, the first match that like started the show on NXT this week. NXT Cruiserweight Champion Jordan Devlin going against Leo Rush for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. Extremely great match.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
this was
that
this to me was definitely, and I'll say this was pretty much every cruiserweight match we see in NXT. This was probably the best thing on the whole show.
It was.
Leo Rush, he's legit. Like I always been saying it, Monday Night Raw, like when you see him there to how you see him now, it's so great because he's so much better. They're presenting him in a super legit way. And Jordan Devlin, while I don't like his finisher, his signature finisher combo, the headbutt, and then the high back suplex, he's a hell of a wrestler, and he's legit, and he's deserving of that cruiserweight championship.
And that's what I mean. And for example, Leo Rush, and the only thing I'm going to say about that is Leo Rush is the perfect example of what we just said. What we just mentioned is just right there. Leo Rush, completely misused, not handled correctly in the main roster. So talented in the ring, yet you are going to be Bobby Lashley's mouthpiece. No, Triple H says, no, wait, give me a second. He deserves another shot. Completely like his character revamp, different guy. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
He shows what he's made of.
He's one of those guys who actually spoke up and said, like, I'm one of the best. When he was on Raw, he said, I'm one of the most talented guys on this entire roster.
And it's true.
And I'm not even wrestling. And people were like, you need to watch your mouth. Like Seth Rollins, I'm sure, was pissed. And all these other guys were like, you need to watch what you're saying. You need to have respect. But look at what he's doing in the ring. He's proven it.
Yeah. And that's what, and exactly. It's like all these guys need is an opportunity. But when it comes to an opportunity, make it a legit, fair opportunity. Let the crowd decide if they're good enough or not. And that's the one thing that WWE officials don't do. They don't let the crowd decide. And I remember John Cena saying, they are the ones that like make you over or not. Is the people. So the officials, refuse to believe that idea. And that's why they don't use people correctly. And now Leo Rush has a big chance. I thought he was going to win this week. I thought that he was going to get the title back.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what they're setting up for the pay-per-view in Ireland, but I think if he's going to lose it, I mean, he's probably going to retain there because he is Irish, Jordan Devlin, but I think if he's going to lose it at some point, it'll be at that takeover, that UK takeover.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't see him losing it on TV. Like I said, I feel like the only reason they took it off Garza was because of Andrade. I'm going to blame Andrade for that. Because they didn't want to have the title be on Raw. So it was like, because it's NXT and this and that. So they're like, we'll just drop it to one of these other guys who's just as deserving as Garza. So, like I said, I'm going to blame Andrade for that. That's just my conspiracy theory. But I don't know why you would have taken it off Angel Garza.
Right. They probably switched plans knowing that Andrade was going to be suspended.
Like I said, he won the title. He proposed to his girlfriend, fiance, whatever. And it's like, why would you ruin that moment like 3 weeks later and have him drop the belt? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was a bullshit title reign. It was like, really?
And also like Garza he's the whole character, he's the whole gimmick, he's everything, he's the whole package. I will say that. With Garza, like you have like even like the promo that he had with Selena Vega that you cover on the Monday Night Raw review, extremely great. Even like like we were all these beautiful people. Lana was saying all the couples, we can be a double date, and Garza's like, hey, no woman can get this.
Yeah,
no woman is deserving of this. Every time I say that, I get slapped and nothing happens. But anyway.
Yeah, well, you're not Angel Garza.
But exactly.
Keep trying. Keep trying.
The only Garza, the only thing I have on Angel Garza is the Spanish language. But anyway, let's go over the match. Rush goes to the top and tries to hit Devlin with a crossbody, but then Devlin evades. And then Rush catches Devlin with a kick, but Devlin hits Rush with a standing Spanish fly. That's a beautiful move. While they do the Spanish fly and the standing one, those... Like you said, cruiserweights is just the best wrestling that you can get right now. We're in a modern era, and we don't need chops. We don't need just big boots. Give me athleticism. Give me intensity, and these guys can produce that for me. So great. Devlin went for the pin, but Rush lagging to the Cody clutch. Then Devlin reached the bottom rope and forced to the break. Then Rush goes to the top rope again, but Devlin hits the ropes, crouching Rush at the top. Then Devlin goes to the top turnbuckle as well, but Rush hits an avalanche poison hurricanrana. Now you probably love that move.
Mm-hmm.
And then he follows it up by landing with a come up. Then pinning Devlin, but Devlin gets his foot on the rope. See, that's the good thing. It's like you're not, like you always said, we're not they protect the move with the ropes. Because at least, and of course, Nigel, and you've seen this in commentary everywhere in the world, they said, oh, it's so great to see that like he knows where he's at. Or, like, oh, his ring awareness. That's how they call it. Oh, he knew that he was right next to the ropes.
Because, I mean, you see it a lot, like, in a job match. Somebody will get squashed, and the jobber, he won't reach for the ropes. You know what I mean? He just lays there, eats the pin, 1, 2, 3. But it's, these guys, they always, and it's a way to get the main talent over. Like, oh, look how smart they are. And like you said, it protects the move because he didn't kick out of the come up. He just had to use the ropes.
Yeah, and then again, it's always like, and of course, they always tell whoever's calling the match, whoever's commentating the match, oh yeah, mention that they're really being really smart, and that's why you will always hear this phrase: ring awareness, ring awareness. That's the one thing that you will hear throughout this thing. So again, like I said, he goes for the ropes, then Rush goes for a final hour frog splash, but Devlin evades again. Devlin hits a Rush with like a headbutt, and of course, like the best sequence in the world for Jean Paul and myself. No, that's one of the weakest sequences in the world. And he goes for like the headbutt, and then he hits the Devlin side suplex on Rush, pinning him for the victory. Retain, still champion, Jordan Devlin.
Yeah, and to me, like, if I'm going to talk about that, sometimes when he hits, I know I'm not telling him, I don't want to see a legit headbutt, a forehead to forehead, concussion. I don't want to see none of that, stuff happen. But when he headbutted Leo Rush, like this part of his head, his forehead, hit Rush like here, kind of a little bit in the chin, a little bit in the neck, mostly in the shoulder. When they showed it live, then when they showed the replay, they showed it from an angle where it looks like he actually hit head to head. And to me, if your signature is going, it needs to be protected with a camera angle. You got to switch your signature, your finisher, whatever you want to call it, because if it doesn't look legit, why does Hangman Page? Maybe when singles matches he'll do it again, but why doesn't he do the Deadeye? I'm sure a lot of people were shitting on the Deadeye when Kip Sabian's head was like 6 inches off the ground when he supposedly slammed his head into the ground.
I was going to bring that point up.
People were like, "What's
this?"
That's
why he changed it up. I think that's why he changed it up. Now he uses the buckshot lariat.
Yeah, and then that high, side suplex, back suplex, whatever, the devil inside was like the, his name for it. But he does this move and it's like, okay, but then Dijakovic does a top rope Spanish fly to somebody and they kick out. You know what I mean?
Or those are the things that, like,
so that's my only issue
want to make sense in wrestling, but unfortunately, yeah, like Jordan Devlin, I feel like I don't think we're the only ones, and if we are, hey, so be it. It is our opinion. We think what we think, and
exactly.
And for me, it's weak. It's weak. It's just a back body drop. And I don't care if it is a headbutt. Like, okay, he's so groggy that he can't kick out. When the move is not even in the head again. The back body drop hits you in the back. That's what it's called, back body drop, and the headbutt. So
now if he would do like a headbutt and then a DDT or something, that would be a little bit different.
It follows up because it's like both of you attacking the head. But in the end, he retains the championship. He is moving on to like NXT Takeover Tampa, and like you said, probably he will carry the title on to Ireland because that's the main reason why they do this. Because so they can have a champion that is from that country, so that will generate more expectation and more, fans to buy the tickets. Yep, that's what it is. They will generate more tickets, like in
exactly
all of that. So then we go backstage. We have an interview asking Raquel Gonzalez, our Latina right there, and tell me why you did this. And she's like, I aligned myself with Dakota Kai because she understood like Dakota Kai's frustration seeing Tegan Knox chosen over her at the War Games, and then understands why Kai turned on her. So Gonzalez,
and I actually saw I don't know if pardon me if you were going to actually mention this, but I don't know because they didn't go into this on NXT, but I saw that her and Rhea Ripley were like really good friends and stuff, and they came up in like Mae Young Classic and they trained together. Maybe not trained together, but in the PC and stuff trained together. And she was posting on Twitter like, oh yeah, Rhea, this stuff like you're getting chosen, you're the golden child. Like, what about me? Like, you just forget about me, how we were friends and we were helping each other out. And so that's like what it is. So now I think she's going to be coming after Rhea Ripley soon.
And that's good because like she deserves an opportunity. She has like enough physique. She has the look.
Yeah. So that's why I think she signed or sided with Dakota, because it was like, hey, I know what it's like for your best friend to get all the spotlight and then for you to be forgotten. As in, Rhea Ripley, Tegan Knox.
Exactly.
So maybe we'll see like a match between the four of them. I think that would be a legit match.
It will be a lot better because this show did not have any build up when it comes to the women. To me, like it didn't have anything of substance. Nothing like really of importance came out of this.
Yeah, well, I do like the announcement that they did announce the steel cage for Tegan Knox and Dakota Kai. That I did like, Now, when we get later on into the Caden Carter Chelsea Green match, I did not like what happened in that match, and I'm not talking about the ending. I'm talking about what happened towards the ending. But we'll get to that when we get to it.
Exactly. So, like Jean Paul was saying, two things that he already mentioned. Like Raquel says that she saw people getting opportunities over her all the time at the performance center. Ding, ding, ding. Right there, Rhea Ripley. And then William Regal is walking by and he's like, "Hey, ladies, how's it going?" Congratulates Kai and Gonzalez and announces that in 2 weeks, Dakota Kai and Tegan Knox will have a rematch inside a steel cage. So there you go, Mr. Cody Rhodes, Mr. Wardlow. There you go. So now somebody's gonna have to do a moonsault with that capacity just to top that up.
Tell me what you think. I like escaping the steel cage isn't a way to win it. I know that's WWE history, and I know if they would change it, you'd have a bunch of old heads like, no, you can't screw with tradition. What about all this blah blah blah. But to me, that is I kind of like how they changed it for AEW. Because that would be Hell in the Cell's pretty much the same thing. It's just a steel cage match with no door.
Oh yeah, the one thing is like you said, like for example, WWE now they give you both options, so that you can either pin or you can either come out. To me, I'm kind of old school on that. I would much rather just see people escaping the cage, but I mean they added the pin, so to me it kind of also loses its meaning of the cage. So why you have the cage? And for example, what is it different from Hell in a Cell? So just Hell in a Cell just has like the top closed.
I guess it's because it's like, the cage is supposed to seem more dangerous because you can slam your opponent into the cage, and it's also no DQ.
Yeah.
So you can kick them in the balls and this and that. And another thing, talking about AEW rules, then we get back to the NXT. I do like in the Battle Royal how when one member is eliminated, it doesn't eliminate the team.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, see, that makes sense. It's like, and see, that's when the one thing is AEW, in a lot of instances, they are listening to the fans. They're not walking away from whatever they do wrong, and actually they're acknowledging what they do wrong, and that's good because in life, if you're able to acknowledge your own mistakes, what's the next progression? You're going to improve. Exactly. And that's what they do. That's what they do. So, like you said, the one member is out, and then automatically your team is out. Hell no. And they actually did it in a way to kind of show WWE that idea completely doesn't make sense because Matt Jackson was able to win the whole thing.
And Nick was eliminated pretty early on.
Yeah, and he wins. I mean, a little crappy that he wins that way, but in the same fashion, it makes more sense because at least you do it for your own team. But again, I will give you my real thoughts in the Young Bucks. I don't think it makes sense for them to win. Jean Paul said yes, it is true. The storyline with Kenny Omega and Adam Hangman Page makes sense. To me, another team should have won. It's like, give me the best friends, give me whatever team. It's just hey, start investing a little more in the other teams. Don't just give me the same the elite. Don't give me the elite. The elite is becoming obsolete. So. Let's go again, Mr. Leeg, to Tommaso Ciampa is shown arriving at Full Sail, and he looks pretty pissed. So we see an interview from Rhea Ripley, like you were saying, and she says that she's really happy because she got what she wanted. She's going to be facing Charlotte at WrestleMania. Hopefully, at least for me, I still keep my theory that they're going to make it a triple threat match. You said it's going to be a singles match. We'll see what they do. But the idea came from Vince McMahon. We'll see where this goes. I hope that Charlotte doesn't win just because I don't think she will do any favors to the NXT roster, to the NXT crowd, and to the NXT brand itself.
No, and I do like this interview because it was really short. It was quick. Rhea, she just comes back from doing a media talk, and Kathy Kelly's like, "Oh, excuse me," and she's like, "I just got done talking to media. What do you want?" And then she said, she was like, "Oh, Charlotte Flair accepted the match." She's like, "Yeah, she beat me down, but I got what I wanted, so." Who wins anyway? And she's like, even queens have nightmares. And then I think Kathy Kelly was going to ask her something else, and she's like, we're done here. And just walks away. So that's why I like that badass.
I like that because you're a rebel. You're tired. You're showing emotion.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Because, why? I mean, she is a baby face, but why do you need to be the obnoxious Ricochet type baby face that's like, my dream for 17 years has been to be the champion? Okay, dude, why don't you show some real emotion and be like, dude, I just wrestled my ass off. I got to go sit in ice for about 2 hours. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
And I'm sorry, but if you're Ricochet, dude, you're not going to win the championship, okay? Yeah. We all know. Because I will keep telling you, and I love your reviews, and please watch the Raw review, because this guy is telling you just truth from from the beginning of the video until the end. Okay, why they keep pumping the match with McIntyre if he's going to defend the title in a match before?
But see, that's the
So
thing.
what happens if
They
Ricochet
catch
wins?
themselves because they'll be like, oh, yeah, Brock Lesnar, the Beast versus McIntyre. And then one of the three on commentary will be like, well, what about Ricochet? And they'll be like, oh, yeah, that's true. So,
For example, okay, Paul Heyman should be going in the segment to talk to Ricochet, because you can focus on McIntyre if you're not a champion after Super Showdown. So I don't
yeah.
get it. It's just dumb. Don't do those things. They don't make any
Oh,
sense.
I mean, to roll this back to really what doesn't make any sense is why we need to have a bullshit pay-per-view in between like this, like in Saudi Arabia, because to me, the Elimination Chamber, Brock's not going to defend the title at Chamber. So
Yeah,
he shouldn't be defending the title at all anymore until WrestleMania.
yeah, yeah.
But hey, they want that.
They need the Saudi money,
Yep,
so of
they
course
want
they're
that
gonna
good
do it.
Saudi money. So
They need the Saudi money. So Mr. Egg, Austin Theory comes down to the ring for a match, but Tommaso Ciampa follows and grabs the mic, circling the ring. Ciampa eventually enters the ring and tries to talk about Portland. Theory gets in his face, and Ciampa tells him, "Not tonight." I'm telling you, man, not tonight. So he's like, okay, dude, I'm not even, you're not the one. The beef is not with you. So,
yeah, this is like, speaking of beef, and say this is like somebody who we know they used to come into work and be in a bad mood, and they'd be like, not today, not today. And I'm gonna tell you, I have the same opinion of Ciampa as I did when I had to deal with that bullshit. Not today, yeah, not today with me. Don't come in here with a bad attitude because you lost, because this and that. I didn't like this segment with Ciampa, but take us through it.
exactly, like they didn't make too much sense. So he says he's in asking why. He says that he and Johnny both know why. Theory tries to surprise attacking Ciampa, but Ciampa turns around the clocks. Then Theory and Ciampa gets back in the mic and says, in order to get his life back, there can be no Johnny Gargano in NXT. So Ciampa tries to head up to the ramp, but Theory again tries to attack Tommaso Ciampa from behind, and then he said he has enough, so he decimates Theory, tossing him around the entryway, tossing him into the crowd, in the barrier over and over again, putting welds on Theory back before finally storming up to the back. So backstage, we get to
and I was to talk about this with him, like Austin Theory, like Ciampa was just talking in the ring, and it didn't even look like he was trying to attack him. He just like kind of grabbed Ciampa's arm to like turn him around. I don't think he was going to deliver a move. I think he was probably just going to tell him, dude, calm down. Like, I have a match. Like, can you get out of here? And then he just beat the shit out of him. And it was like, dude, really? Like, I want to see Austin Theory win next week.
Yeah.
I'm sick. I mean, I don't want to say I'm done with Tommaso Ciampa, but it's like, dude, you lost. What happens when other people lost? Like, you don't come out here and beat the shit out of this guy because you're angry at Johnny Gargano. You should be finding Gargano. He should be storming the back like how Undisputed Era, when they were like, where's Ciampa? Where's Ciampa? And they were beating everybody up. Ciampa should be going through the back and being like, where's Gargano?
Yeah.
Why does he need to be out here beating up Austin Theory when he was supposed to have a match?
Yeah, I don't
It make
understand
sense. It made him look like a baby.
Yeah.
Like, dude, okay. Like, yeah, you lost your life. Like, I mean, he didn't like his life, Goldie was his life, whatever the hell he wants to say. But it's like, okay, dude, we'll go kick Gargano's ass.
You should be like, you should be like asking for Gargano, not for poor Theory. And again, to me, like, you should be like, okay, like, I want to see Gargano and I'm not moving until I don't see Gargano, something like that. Not just this thing that actually turns out to be a match for next week. It's going to be Ciampa and Austin Theory, like you said. So then we get to see backstage Chelsea Green and Robert Stone. They're taking publicity shots, preparing for Green's match against Kaden Carter. Then we go to commercial. And in commercial, we get to see a promo that Finn Balor is in a room by himself, talking about how he proved himself at Portland, and say, we'll watch, Finn Balor's next move. And we know the next move is what? He's the number one contender for the NXT Championship, so they're going to start building that rivalry up. It's going to be for NXT TakeOver Tampa. It's going to be Finn Balor against Adam Cole for the title.
And so that is when the prophecy is done.
He's going to be
and done.
He's going to be the Messiah that's going to be breaking that prophecy. So there's no Messiah in Seth Rollins. There's no Messiah anywhere else but Finn Balor, because he's the chosen one. So Mr. Egg, we get Raul Mendoza and Joaquin Wild. against the Grills Your Veterans. Yeah, I want to say, a decent match. Kind
Yeah,
of like,
but
I
yeah,
think.
and this, like I said, with wrestling, a lot of times it's very predictable. You see this. Who is going to win this match? Was it going to be the upset of Joaquin Wilde and Raul Mendoza? No. This
You
was
need
the
the Grills Young Veterans. They're
This was the Grizzled Young Veterans match to win. They were going to come out here, squash these guys, cut a promo, talk about how good they are. And what did they do? They came out here, they beat these guys, cut a
and
promo,
got a
said how
promo.
good they were, and that's it.
And like you said, well, something that we've been asking for the past, for all this time that we've been covering NXT is just like the lack of tag teams.
Hmm.
So they're bringing the Grizzled Barons. They're a heel. They're a good tag team. They know what they're doing. So they found a lot of success in NXT UK. So why don't we bring them on NXT America? And that's what they're doing right now. And they can be in contention against Matt Riddle and be done.
Yeah,
The
we saw them win here, and then I know they posted something on Twitter, and then the Forgotten Sons responded to it, but they're just going to beat the Forgotten Sons anyway, so we're probably just going to get a rematch of the Grizzled Young Veterans, and
against Matt Riddle and Pete
yeah,
Dunne.
at Takeover Portland, which if that's I'm not Portland, Takeover Tampa, and if that's the case, I hope the Broserweights win because I don't know, like to me, like I don't feel like they should be the tag team on NXT like the main one. I feel like you could, build up other tag teams. Like where's
Yeah,
Kushida and Alex Shelley? Why don't you actually do something with the Forgotten Sons? You can make these other tag teams. You shouldn't have
exactly.
to
I
go from
just
NXT UK because then NXT UK soon not gonna have any tag teams.
Well, NXT UK at least they have Gallus, they
Hmm.
have Imperium, they have the guys Flash Morgan Wagner,
Webster, yep, and Mark Andrews. But that's
yeah,
only what
Mark
3
Andrew.
teams.
They have those. I think they have. They're probably developing one or two more because I've seen. I always see what highlights of NXT UK. We don't have. We already watch a lot of wrestling as is. So there's a little bit. There's like 10 minutes of my time. Maybe I can watch highlights of that show. But you're right. So go on taking through what John Paul just mentioned. Drake takes out Wall on the apron, and just when Mendoza looks to be building a comeback, Gibson tags in and hits an assisted code breaker on Raul Mendoza, pinning them from the win. And John Paul said it, win, and then they cut a promo, so they grabbed the mic and they said that run down the USA. Then he talks about how he and Drake are here to take over NXT, and they want to be recognized as the world's number one. Then we go to commercial, and we get a preview from NXT Takeover UK Dublin. So, like you said, I feel that like these guys most likely are gonna end up being the number one contenders because I don't see the Undisputed Era
No.
doing, going for a rematch or maybe maybe like a triple threat with the
Yeah, I mean,
Undisputed
I
Era
could see
and
the
the Grills
Undisputed
Veterans.
Era. I could see it could be the Undisputed Era versus the Grizzled Young Veterans in a number one contenders match, and then the Young Veterans, they're the ones who win. I could see it coming down to that because I don't think they're going to beat the Forgotten Sons in a week or two, and then we're the number one contenders now. I think they're going to have
Yeah.
to be a legit team, and that's the legit team I think they're going to beat.
Oh, like you said, like hopefully, like they don't take the titles like right
Because
away from
what's
these
the one thing
guys.
they even said on commentary? Nigel McGuinness said he even mentioned how Shawn Michaels is in love with these guys.
Oh yeah.
And just like when he wrestled, when the Heartbreak Kid wants something, he gets it.
Well, like yeah, like
Yeah.
like if Jean Paul noticed it, he's been noticing that for the past 4 weeks because we were covering the Dusty Classic and all of the instances of the Grills Young Veterans. We have a great review of NXT Takeover Blackpool is in the channel. If you're not doing anything or like you want to just review all of our work, is right there for you guys. So Broserways, Jean Paul Egg, and we're talking about him. So we're gonna cover one of the
Uh,
matches. Yeah, Mr. Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne going against a legit tag team. This is a legit tag team. See, these guys also should be. I think they deserve a better shot of what they're getting right
yeah.
now.
But
Because
before we get into the match, can we talk about that promo that he cut in the beginning?
oh
When he
yeah,
Yeah, and he was
excellent.
saying he's like he calls him like I forget what he calls Pete, but they're all like Stallion. Like he's like the bro Stallion, and then there's like
Yeah,
Stallion Cup. And he's like,
yeah,
oh, we were all partying hard, and he's like, Pete, he is what he is, but this dude can party. And then he's like, look at him, and it zooms in on Pete Dunne, completely just
drink,
yeah, he's like not
drink.
laughing, not smiling. I don't know how he keeps a straight face out there with a Matt Riddle all the time, but then he's like, but Stallion Cup, and he's talking about the Dusty, the
Yes,
Dusty Cup. He's like, he partied too hard, man, and he is suspended for 30 days for violating the wellness policy. And that to me was like the best part of the whole show. That little, and then he even tweeted something like a picture of the cup, and it said like suspended for 30 days, and then or maybe even it was NXT who tweeted it. Somebody like legit tweeted it, and then Matt Riddle retweets it, and he goes hashtag Justice for Stallion Cup. Yeah, and he was all like about like free Stallion Cup. Like, why is he being suspended for 30 days? And it's like it sounds so stupid because it's just like a cup, but I mean it adds humor to
But
the
it's
show.
funny though.
Yeah.
And see, that's what we said this in the review. These guys are like the relationship that they have, the contrast on both personalities is what makes them, and they're funny.
Yeah.
They
And
are legit funny.
yeah, he's way more legit because like I mean Pete Dunne is funny just with how serious he is. But like Matt Riddle, to me, he's hilarious. And then you think, oh, this guy's just a joke. But then ding, 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 the bell rings and he takes your head off.
Yeah,
So that's what makes him even more legit for me.
and that's what that's why he can be. That's your future right there. To me,
Mm-hmm.
Keith Lee, Matt Riddle is the future of legit pro wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And if Triple H knows, because yeah, we already are sure that like he knows what he's doing, but the right progression for this guy is just to be main roster, and Matt Riddle can easily be the face of the company because of how funny he is. The interaction with the crowd, he comes out like organic. He knows how to handle crowds and all of that. So I really think that like he has a big opportunity when it comes to that. So they get a match with Danny Berg and Oni Lorcan. That's a legit tag team once again, like I said, but like they don't get the right opportunity. They don't get the right opportunity when it comes to that. But like you said, the interactions that they had, Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne, is just to me the whole show. Even sometimes I forget that they're a tag team and that they wrestle. Because I would just much rather see a show of them just interacting with each other.
Yeah, like a reality TV show.
It's like a reality TV, but like they had a really great match. Oni Lorcan asked for his release not too long ago. It wasn't granted to him. They gave him another opportunity to go again with his friend. And
now see if this, and I'm gonna go into Jean Paul Booker mode here a little bit. If you're gonna pull the trigger and give the Grizzled Young Veterans the tag team belts from the Broserweights at some point, this is a team I want to see beat the Grizzled Young Veterans. Give Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch. That's a team that's going to be like a Heath Slater Rhino pop.
Yes.
That will be like all the fans, the diehard legit. I'm not talking about the casual fans that watch 5 minutes of the show and they're like, so who are these bald guys?
Yes.
I'm talking about the legit fans who know how talented both of these guys are, all the hard work they put in, and they haven't been rewarded with anything. Triple H always tells these guys, wait, just wait. We'll take care of you. That's how you take care of them. You have them beat a team like that because they're clearly baby faces, even though they're like a rough style, really stiff, really strong. The fans cheer for them because, like I said, they know that they haven't been shown the respect they deserve. So then that's how you give it to them. If you are going to go with the young veterans to be the tag champs at some point, I want to see Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch beat them. Unless you're going to go with Kushida and Alex Shelley, but I would rather go with Danny Burch and Oni Lorcan first, and then you could do a feud with Kushida and Shelley if they indeed do become a tag team.
Yeah, oh no, absolutely. I think that like you just said it all. Like these guys deserve better. And I was like, don't put them with the champions. Like they should be going against the Grizzled Young Veterans.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're just gonna have my Riddle and Pete Dunne win, and that's what happens.
And that goes into the whole trend of this show. Just very predictable.
Yeah.
Everything was super predictable because it was a Fallout show from a pay-per-view, and they kind of put it in autopilot.
Exactly. To me, that's the word, autopilot. So Lorcan takes Dunne down with a blockbuster. That's a great move. But then Dunne snaps Lorcan's fingers, joint manipulations. We love that word. And tags into Matt Riddle, and they hit Riddle. They hit a Riddle end on Oni Lorcan, and they pin for the 3 count. They pin him, and they keep the champion. Well, it's not a championship match, but like they celebrate into the crowd. The whole crowd is loving it because again, these 2 guys are like absolutely over. They do the dance. They're like.
I do like how, like I said, Matt Riddle when he holds the belt in his mouth, like Pete Dunne. I do like that.
It's because Riddle tries to like kind of like that. goes along with like with Pete, and that's the good thing. And see, Pete doesn't go along because Pete could do the move, and he doesn't do it. He's just like, He's like, I don't know. But like I said, a good match. I feel that like again, Lorcan, and I will just put him like with the Girls Young Veterans and actually give them a win over the Girls Young Veterans. Not put him with the brand new champions because you know who's gonna win.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
this brings me to the next segment. Like I said, I enjoy how they celebrate into the crowd though. And then we get Roderick Strong, and he's telling Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and Fish that he wants to do this match by himself. So he says, "Please respect my decision." And then we get Jackson Ryler calls out the Grills Young Veterans, defending the U.S. from the statements made by the Grills Young Veterans, but finally saying, "You want to send a message? Message receive." So we get to see like another rivalry in the making. So we get your guy, NXT North American Champion, bask in his glory. Kid Lee, he comes out and we see clips of his appearance in backstage. He was with Mark Henry. Mark Henry was thanking him for redefining something that we said. So guys, please, can you please start giving credit when credit's due? We said redefine giant, and Mark Henry says the same thing. Are we thinking alike? Maybe. Or maybe they're watching the show. So if they are, thank you so very much for watching, Mr. Henry. And then we get to see Conor Reeves. They come out with like a new look. He turns his back on Lee and grabs the mic, but Lee hits Reeves with a pounce. And then Lee says, "You can ring the bell. You can do this." So squash match, Mr.
Yep.
Leek. Lee gets Reeves on his shoulders and hit the big back catastrophe, and done.
Yeah, I mean, but what did we expect? You know what I mean? Like, he was supposed to. I don't even know what they said it was supposed to be. I don't think he was supposed to have a match with Dijakovic. I think it was just supposed to be like he was just supposed to come out. But
Yeah.
they're like, oh, Kona Reeves is interrupting him, and I don't know if I heard it wrong or if Moro said it wrong, but I thought he said something about like having a rubber match with Dijakovic. And there again, I haven't heard that term rubber match until Pac said it on AEW. Now
Mm.
NXT's using that term. Like, come on, you know
It's
what I
more
mean?
that they're
Like,
gonna, that
yeah.
they're gonna go back and forth with this, because they're watching. I mean, if we are watching, if we're covering, which we are, they are gonna
Mhm.
be covering.
Yeah,
So
so
they're gonna.
yeah, so I think he meant that like, and like I said, I could have heard it wrong, unless he meant that like Keith Lee won the rubber match, and that was the one at Portland. But like you said, he squashes him, and it's like Kona Reeves, thanks for coming, thanks for getting all dressed up, oil in your hair, and doing all that stuff for three
Thank you
seconds
for
of
the new
work.
look,
Thank you.
sir. But go
Yep.
back where you belong to being a loser.
Hmm.
So, Dijakovic post match, he comes up and he says, I had you ready. It was done. He's like, I had you beat. I can do it. I can get the job done. So he says, we need another match. I want a rematch. And Kid Lee says,
Yeah,
well, I'm ready for it. I'm like, the only thing you got to do is you got to convince William Regal. You
yeah,
got to
he's
get William Regal to do the match. And he says, but like, the one thing I did like is like, if you can talk to Regal into it, we can fight forever.
yeah because he even said he's like when I hit that top rope Spanish fly, it was done, but the only thing that was done was my back. He's like, I hurt my lower back. He's like, and then I couldn't get you up for Feast Your Eyes. He's like, if I was able to hit that, and then Keith Lee's like, if. All I hear is these ifs. And he's like, that don't mean anything. I'm still the champion. And then he was talking, and then like he said, he was gonna say, these fans, they want, and then they broke out into a fight forever chant, which I was like, that's pretty convenient. Was there like people like plants in the crowd that started the fight forever chants, and then everybody took, joined in? Because I'm like, that's pretty convenient to how he was able to work that into the promo so seamlessly.
Exactly.
But like you said, then he was like, hey, if you can get Regal to somehow agree to it, I'm always up for a challenge.
We
And
will
and that,
fight forever. So
yep,
Jean
and that,
Paul, like you were saying,
yep.
like you only need one or two to start the chant, and everybody will follow.
Hmm.
So yeah, we'll see where they go from this. If
Yeah,
we
I
see,
hope we definitely don't see a rematch soon. Like I said, to me, this is something next time they fight, Dijakovic has to win, and you're not going to have Keith Lee drop the belt now. So I think like a next person needs to be like a Killian Dane, Damian Priest, somebody like that.
that we haven't seen in like for like, we haven't seen Killian Dane or Damian Priest in like the maybe about 3 weeks or so. So
Hmm.
hopefully, like they do something that is not the same match because, like you said, if Dijakovic loses again, then what is Dijakovic going to do?
Yeah, exactly.
So we have a match with the women. Kaden Carter against Chelsea Green with Robert Stone. Decent match for what it is. You need to
Mhm.
hyped up Chelsea Green. Why? Because like 2 weeks ago, Kaden Carter was the one that got the win over Chelsea. So that was
Yeah,
something that is, they needed to give Chelsea Green the push this time
yeah,
because a
which
lot
I
of
don't.
people know her past.
Yeah, which I didn't understand that because okay, the Robert Stone brand and all this stuff. It kind of goes into what I was saying with like Wardlow and Jeff Cobb. Like you're not gonna have somebody lose in their debut.
Hmm.
But obviously, you're. This isn't like Caden Carter's not a John Moxley. She's not a Cody Rhodes. So she could have afforded to lose, and that's what the outcome should have been. She won,
Yes.
and it was like, okay, she won. What the hell's going on here? Is this a legit feud? Then they had, like you said, it was a decent match. It wasn't anything that was going to blow you away. It isn't something that you're going to go back and watch. If you watched it once, that's all you need. You don't need to watch it again. But why did Bianca Belair need to come out and interrupt this match? And it took me out of the match, and it made me I don't even care about this match anymore.
Exactly, and that's
You
what
know,
I
I'm
don't
like, yeah,
understand.
like to me, it was disrespectful, and not on Bianca's part because obviously this is a show, it's written just like any other
And she
TV
has to
show.
go do her job. She has to
Yeah,
go do
but
her job.
it's like whoever wrote this is like you pretty much saying you don't care about Chelsea Green or Caden Carter and Robert Stone and that whole new thing. Which again, I'm not saying it's fantastic television that it's being disrespected, but it's still being disrespected in the sense that it's like why even put it on there?
Yeah.
Why couldn't
So
Bianca Belair just cut a promo backstage or something?
or,
You know
or,
what I
or
mean?
like
Or
just come out and then drop the mic and go back.
if
You
anything, I
know?
would have. She should show up on Monday Night Raw and jump Charlotte Flair. She should have kept her mouth shut, not said anything. Boom, showed up on Raw. You could have booked Charlotte Flair and Sarah Logan for the 15th time, and then Bianca could have jumped her and beat her, and then Sarah Logan could have got the pin because she could have jumped her. The ref doesn't see it. Sarah Logan pins her. Then Sarah Logan at least has a little momentum going into the elimination chamber. But why would we ever want somebody to look good going into a pay per view? That's not
Exactly.
Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, no, you're right. So suddenly Bianca Belair enters the ring and she says, I'm happy for you all and I'm going to let you finish. Then she looks into the camera and calls out Charlotte Flair. Belair says that she is going to whoop Charlotte whenever she finds her. Then she leaves the ring. If you want to find her, she always is there on Monday Night Raw. So it's easy to, just go wherever Raw is taking place and then you can go find her and then whoop some ass, like she says. Back
Hmm.
to the match. Carter catches Green with a super kick and then the ring rolls out of the ring. Then Green ends up hitting the Unprettier on Kaden Carter, and then she gets the win. The only
Hmm.
good thing about Chelsea Green in this, I think she's a good wrestler, but I love how she uses the Unprettier. That's Christian's. That's his
Yeah.
finisher, and I'm a big fan of Christian, so that's legit. But
And
like I
like I
said,
said, if she might look better if whoever produces the matches actually gave a shit.
yeah, it's
That's the
like
thing. Like this match to me, it was like just one or two clicks up from the Kona Reeves match. It was like okay, it was decent, a little bit back and forth. Caden Carter, I think, at some point is going to be a legit, future in NXT for the women. Chelsea Green, she's already proved herself on the Indies. I think she'll be in a good spot. I don't know if she'll ever be NXT Women's Champion, but maybe a tag champ if they would bring those belts to NXT. But then you just, like I said, completely disrespect them. Bianca comes out like, oh, yeah, hey, you guys, I'll let you finish, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, you won't because the fans no longer care.
yeah,
Because
it's
now
like
the only
it's
thing,
this kind of
yeah,
things that like it's a new feud, so you just gotta let it let it
yeah,
cook. And if you just take it away, now I mean I understand why you do the promo, but don't do it in the middle of a match. You're
yeah.
not Stone Cold Steve Austin. You're not like let's say Ciampa. You're not John Moxley. You're not that
Mhm.
kind of character. Don't do it. So Jean Paul, we go right to the main event: Velveteen Dream against Roderick Strong match. We've seen this match before. To me,
Hmm.
I don't think it was like a great match. I don't think it was anything out of this world.
No,
Like,
and I wouldn't say go ahead, and I just want to give my thoughts before we get into the sequences.
yeah, like I think that like I said, it was especially it was anticlimactic, and I'm
Mm.
like I always will keep reiterating this. It needs to be climatic when it is an end, and it was just like he didn't even hit the elbow. He
Yeah,
didn't even do that. He ended up doing like two Death Valley drivers, and that was it.
yeah, and to me, now obviously Undisputed Era is heel. They're the bad guys, this and that. As soon as somebody come, and I don't care how bad they beat him down. I don't care if Velveteen Dream 5 months, 5 years. I don't care. When you come out and you bring somebody's innocent kid and wife into it, you're in my eyes automatically the heel. Roderick Strong was the baby face in this. How he was like, I'm going to, don't do that to my wife. He even said, guys, I don't want you out there. I want to do this legit. To me, boom, baby face. I'm not saying he turned, but he was a baby face in this match. I don't care if, Dream got all the cheers, this and that, and then Dream got the win.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so it looks like the heel won. Like, what's he going to do now? Fuck his wife? Like, you know what I mean? Like, come on, like, what is that?
Yeah.
Like, that's like Rick Rude and Jake the Snake. Who was the heel in that? Rick Rude.
Yeah.
Jake the Snake wasn't a heel. People didn't want to see, Rick Rude with his wife and all that on his pants. No, nobody wants to see that. So I'm like, I get it. The Dream is popular. He's the heel. He's, the future and this and that. But I'm like, and Patrick Clark, I think, is talented. Like, I do agree this match wasn't as good as their matches in the past. But it's like, what do you, to me, it was just, I don't know. I didn't enjoy the match as much as I thought I would.
No, man, and that's what I mean. Like, to me, it felt a little flat. I don't know why. Maybe because, like you said, like, this rivalry for me is not, like, it didn't get me to, like, want to see the match. And even when the match was actually happening, like, it distracted me the fact that the Dream had, like, a different kind of a gear. And then in the match, then he pulled the gear that he had on the pants, and then he was the pants that with like Roderick Strong's wife, Marina Shafir, and Troy the Son, and all of that.
Yeah, and like you said, also at the ending, he hit a Death Valley or Dream Valley driver, and I think he hit one from like the second turnbuckle or something.
He hit it twice, and
then he goes up to the top, and you think he's gonna deliver the Purple Rainmaker, the elbow onto Strong, on the Strong, but then he jumps. Yeah, he jumps on the Undisputed Era. And then he gets back in, and Roddy gets a little bit of offense. He no-sells it, Dream Valley driver, and done. And I'm like, okay.
And that's what I mean.
I was literally like looking I was like Jeff Cobb when he got rolled up by Moxley. I'm looking around like, really?
Yeah, no. That's what I mean. Both, I will say, in that aspect, I think AEW came out a little bit better. But, let me walk you through the thing. Dream catches the Strong with a super kick and a Dream Valley driver on Strong. And then takes off his pants and reveals the title underneath, like we said with Marina Shafir and Troy. Then Dream gets to the top rope and looks to dive onto Strong, but then the rest of the Undisputed Era has come out. Dream dives onto them on the outside, then he gets back in the ring and hits another. He gets the kick. He gets the knee from, like they said, Roderick Strong, doesn't sell it at all, and then he hits another Dream Valley driver on the Strong, covering for the victory. And see, nobody really cared, because in the end, the Undisputed Era attacks him again.
Yeah,
they attack him, and then Strong hit his finisher. He hits like the end of a heartache, and then all the members of the Undisputed are standing tall.
Yeah, so to me, why wouldn't you have him do that? And then when he rolls in the ring, Strong hits the knee, end of heartache, pins him, and then he can beat. Then they should be the ones who are locked in a steel cage.
Yeah, and that's what.
Well, that's like that's I was like normally
Booker won, and then Booker won. Yeah. Okay, he's coming back. Understandably, you gotta give him the win. But again, he gets the win in 2 seconds. He gets jump again. See, that's the only one thing that I will tell you that it bothers me from the Undisputed Era, because it's always constant jumping onto people, and nobody comes out.
Yeah,
you need, if there's more people that hate the Undisputed Era, why couldn't Kushida come out? Well, don't let him always
Kushida, Bronson Reed, and you could have brought. And you could have brought somebody else. I don't know who, but then it could have been 4 versus 4.
Why? Because it gets to the point that it's as annoying as because Evolution is a great staple, okay? Absolutely one of the best staples of all WWE history. But at some point, it got to that point. And I'm saying point over and over again, because every time they will jump onto somebody, no one will come out and help. And see, the show ended like that. They were just standing tall. No Tommaso Ciampa. Adam Cole is right there. Or no Finn Balor. Nothing. So we didn't get anything. And on top of that, the Velveteen Dream gets the win. Yes. Did he get revenge? No.
Yeah, it was pointless. Like, does it just continue the feud? And if it continues the feud, because to me, like I said, I stand by this. I stamp my flag down in this opinion. If a babyface wins, the feud is done.
Yes.
Like John Moxley, when he beats Jericho, that feud is over. When Kevin Owens finally pins Seth Rollins on Raw, that feud is done. Velveteen Dream, he pinned Roderick Strong here, so the feud is done. But then he got beat down, so the feud's not done. Yeah. So why wouldn't you just have him lose, or he could have dived onto Undisputed Era, they could have been beating him down outside the ring, the ref looks, what the hell, ding, 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 rings the bell, and then yeah, he would win by DQ, but that to me, that isn't a legit win. So then the feud would continue. For him, boom, 1, 2, 3 to pin strong, it's done.
Yeah. So
But then they continued it, and like you said, it was a bullshit thing because we see it each and every single week with the Undisputed Era. They beat people down, and they don't make it interesting.
it gets to a point that, like I said, you lose interest. It doesn't matter how much you like them. It's like, come on. It's like, do you have to jump on every single one? You know, when you have single matches, then you lose. But when you're jumping people, then you get the upper hand. So I don't like that. So Jean-Paul, this wraps up the show. I think that we cover everything. And guys, hopefully next week is more interesting, I will say. This week it fell flat.
Definitely weak. Definitely weak this
We
week.
have Finn Balor who's going to speak. Johnny Gargano will hear from him. So that's another good thing. We're going to have more build-up for Tegan Knox and Dakota Kai. So we'll see where this takes us. Of course, you guys get another date with you and me tomorrow for SmackDown. Are you ready for some bullshit? Yep, we'll be ready for some bullshit because we get John Cena comes back in 2 weeks, but we get another thing with Goldberg and Bray Wyatt.
And we also get there's a 8-man tag, the Usos and the New Day versus Morrison and Miz, and I forget who the other tag team is.
Probably Ziggler and
Ziggler. Yep.
Ziggler and Butler. Yep, the same thing. You know, the same 10 guys, like the same. And also, guys, we got like a great rivalry, a contract signing between Roman Reigns and Mr. King Corbin. So, of course, we're ready for a great time.
Everybody, get ready for this. Guess who is the next 2 guests on A Moment of Bliss? Bella and Brie Bella.
Yeah, ready for we'll be probably in our sleep, so bear with us tomorrow night, and I will reiterate this again. And please, once again, help us out subscribing. We really love when we get new people, so please hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for all notifications. Everything is ready in the channel for you guys. Check our social media. We have all of it right there in our beautiful template. So in the name of Jean-Paul and myself, we both want to say